Comic Tom here. I'm at Emerald City Comic Con, and yeah, we're looking for some dope finds. We're looking for some good books, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me. We're gonna go comic book hunting. Let's talk bags and boards. So the first thing I like to do when I'm at a convention, when doing hunting, of course, I like to start off with the cheap stuff because that's what gets picked through first. And typically, Sunday is the last day, and that's when we see discounts happen. So we're gonna go through some of the quarter bins, dollar bins, and really just that affordable stuff. How's it going, sir? It's going well? Does anyone need a Daredevil 187? Damn, it's a lot. Something you gotta do is just go through every box. Like, there's no trick to this. You gotta know your price guide. You know I love me some Kirby. And you know you love me some Aeropress. First thing you gotta do when you're looking at it is look at the spine ticks, right? So we got a handful of them. It's definitely not gonna be a very fine. And that's mostly because if you hold it just at the right angle, that reflecting light, you're gonna see every dent, every crevice. And if you see any of them, it's gonna be lower than an 8.5 no matter what. Take a look at the back, same thing, and then you also see the dirt. That's gonna be a problem with the grade as well. So you'd be lucky to get a fine, very fine, and it's priced at a fine, so it's fair. Last thing, after you go through the comics, you gotta go through the top. Look for that color on the top because you may find some Mark Jeweler variants. Now, I typically wouldn't do this, but Randy said it's fine. He doesn't care if I go through and hunt for them specifically. I would typically pull them out for the dealer because I'm a nice guy and I'm not looking to make a buck off my friends. This is actually one of my favorite Thor books. It's not a key, but take a look at this. The inside here, this came out a couple months before Hulk 181, and there's an ad. So I pick it up whenever I can because I'm a big Wolverine fan, and Thor's kind of like my new superhero I'm starting to appreciate more. So I typically like to bargain, you know, and a lot of these guys are going to be up for it because, you know, comics are so subjective when you're dealing with grades, when you're dealing with prices. But when comic books are, when you can get them as cheap as this though, there's no reason to bargain. If you are getting a good deal and from reputable dealers, it's not worth bargaining. Only bargain if you're dealing with high-end stuff, only bargain if you're dealing with extremely expensive stuff, because that's when it starts to get subjective. So something that I would recommend when you're at a convention is to bring your own food, because I didn't do that. And now, I get to go and hunt for food and pay a slightly inflated amount for a very mediocre pizza. But everyone knows the rules. One bite, one slice. What I do for the comic fam. A couple things when we're at the convention that I like to do is get a lot of signatures signed. But one of the tricks when getting things signed by creators is being really nice to them. And I'll show you why. Follow me. One of the things that people do, and they make a lot of mistakes with, is that when they go to get signatures from creators, they just limit themselves by, you know, small talk. Get a quick signature and leave. But this is an opportunity to get something really unique done. You can get not just signatures done, but you can get things like special writing on the comic book. You can do things like asking for sketches. You can do things like, you know, making them out personally, getting something personally signed. All of which, except for something personal, increases the value of the book and makes it a lot more special and memorable. It's kind of funny.
Hey!
Hey!
You are!
I am.
Look at you!
That was weird. And that's a great question, and I always appreciate it, but it's a very easy answer. I collect two types of comic books. Controversial comic books. That's number one. Comic books that cause a ruckus. Comic books that causes a change in society. Comic books that cause movement. And the second is Hellboy. Easy as that. I collect a lot of Mike Mignola. And Hellboy in particular is what got me into collecting comic books, and it's what kept me in this comic book game as a hobby and not just as a seller. Because I love Hellboy as a story, but I'm also fascinated by its long history, longevity, and sheer brilliant artwork. It's a little bit more difficult of a question because I like to recommend things that I'm actually reading, that I'm actually doing and participating in the community. And right now, it's a very easy answer. Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, Saga. There really isn't much else that you need to be reading. If you're not reading those things, you need to stop everything that you're doing and read that.
3, 2, 1.
It's gonna be a really good video, guys. I'm stuck with you guys. It's gonna be good, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good.
It's a photo too?
We'll be. Well, come on in.
3, 2, 1.
Permission to use the footage.
Oh, of course.
Good? Permission?
Yeah,
Awesome, yeah, thanks, man. If you follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I do a lot of pressing and repairing of comic books. And I get asked the question a lot, why is the trade a secret? Why is it that's not something that we, you know, tell the public and show off to the public in video form? And it's a pretty simple answer because that information is out there. If you really want to see how to do it, you can fix a comic book. The problem is that it's taken all of these proficient professionals, including myself, years to master the craft. And when someone says, how do you do this? How do you press a book? How do you fix a comic book? The answer is always the same. Every comic book is different. It depends on the era. It depends on the problems that particular book has. It depends on the staining, the dirt, the water damage. And all of these factors play a big role in this answer, which is there is no general rule, it's experience. And what does experience means? It means messing up a lot of books. After a lot of practice, you get to the point where you're more confident and you can start working with books that are higher value. And aside from higher value books, you can start working on other people's books. And only until you feel confident in being able to master the craft with your own books, then you work on other people's. And that's the position that I'm in and why I don't showcase the process online. Yet. It has been a long 4 days here at Emerald City Comic Con 2018, and I am very happy that you joined me. But the weekend's coming to an end. I have some last minute hunting I'm gonna get taken care of here. So, as you know, I'm your host, Comic Tom. Enough said. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more comic book content like this, hit that subscribe button.